Hi, and welcome to today's Parent, where we provide you with information and connect you with experts to make your parenting journey an awesome one and a bit more easier. In today's show, we are talking about breastfeeding. And we have our expert. Her name is Shiro Shiera of Nurturing Moms, a platform that is passionate about empowering, supporting, and just being there for moms when it comes to matters breastfeeding, parenting, and even before we get to that, the whole pregnancy journey.
Exactly.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Christine.
So, what we're going to focus on today, Shiro, is breastfeeding. What is breastfeeding? Let's even just start from there. What is breastfeeding?
Well, breastfeeding is actually the skill that women learn on how to actually nourish their babies by putting them on the breast for them to be able to breastfeed as the mother transfers her milk to the baby. And that's pretty much breastfeeding. There's lactation. Lactation is the production of milk.
So there's a difference between breastfeeding
And
and lactation.
Yes.
And the difference is?
Lactation is how a mother produces milk.
Right.
And breastfeeding is actually
The act of
feeding
lactating.
from the breast, yes.
Right.
Yes.
So let's go to one of the most important things when it comes to matters breastfeeding. Why is it important?
It's the best food any mother would give her baby because it provides all the vitamins, all the nutrients a baby needs until they are 6 months of age. One of the benefits for the baby for breastfeeding is that it gives them a lot of immunity, so it ensures that this baby doesn't get sick. And you'll notice babies who are exclusively breastfed for 6 months hardly go to hospital because they're unwell.
So it is a fact.
It is. It's a fact. Because
Okay.
breast milk has antibacterial, antiparasitic, antiviral properties in it.
Right.
So when a baby is sick, your body actually fights that illness.
Okay.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Babies are also found to be smarter, have a higher IQ
If they're breastfed.
if they're breastfed. Okay?
Wow.
And they have less incidences of diabetes, obesity, diarrhea, ear infections. So you think about diarrhea. If this mother is using bottles to feed the baby,
Right.
was it a hygienic process? Was it done well?
Yeah.
Using clean boiled water.
Yeah.
Person who mixed the formula, did they wash their hands?
Yeah.
So you are a higher risk of getting a diarrhea
Compared to
direct from the breast to the baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ear infections is just how the baby suckles from a bottle. The teat is very different from how baby will breastfeed from the breast. So they're actually found to have a lot of ear pressure, which causes ear infections.
for babies who are bottle fed.
Or even using pacifiers.
Right,
versus
which is
babies
a
who are-
discussion by itself. I can imagine.
know.
I can imagine.
So the benefit for the mom for breastfeeding is that they've found, and research has proved, that it actually reduces your risk of ovarian cancer
Interesting.
and breast cancer.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Cervical cancer, breast cancer, chances of you getting that are a lot lower. It makes you lose weight, so chances are you go back to your pre-pregnancy weight when you breastfeed your baby.
Yeah.
You lose a lot of weight when you're breastfeeding. And then that bond, the emotional bond between mom and baby and mom is amazing. Okay, it will also reduce your chances of postpartum depression.
That is good to know.
Yes.
That's good
Not
to
to
know.
say if you breastfeed, you're not going to get any, but it reduces
The
your
chances
chance.
of.
You know why? When you're holding your baby to breastfeed, nobody else. It's always nyonyesha mtoto. So you're forced to have that close bond with your baby. But if you're bottle feeding or using a cup or a spoon,
Yeah, there's a disconnect between.
there's a disconnect.
Yeah.
Anybody else in your home can have the baby. And I told you, no.
But the
feed the
breastfeeding
baby.
is between the two of you. It's actually very intimate.
It's very intimate.
very intimate.
So you're forced to bond with with your baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing we need to talk about, especially when somebody is a new mom, and I know you meet a lot of them, we do the very beautiful baby showers. Like, in fact, where I should go back to, like when we are getting married, for example, we go through the premarital classes and all that. And then we have this baby shower when we get pregnant. Wouldn't it be so nice if moms or friends of moms could organize for a mom to be, you know, a chance for them to interact with a lactation expert like you? I will explain.
Okay.
You go to the hospital, you've had your baby, and I think I speak from experience and for many moms as well, that it doesn't come natural that you know how to breastfeed your baby. It's a process by itself. And it will be nice to get information even prior of how to breastfeed your baby. So let's talk about how to breastfeed your baby. How does it work?
What you've said is so important because many mothers are sent home from hospital, are discharged. Okay, goodbye.
Yeah.
But you're like, how am I going to breastfeed the baby?
Yeah.
Not even that. Even in hospital, they'll tell you, Shika, nyonyesha mtoto. You're thinking, how do I do that? Breastfeeding is a skill, and you need to be taught how to do it. Yes, there's this thing about it comes naturally. What
Yeah.
comes naturally is the baby is born with a sucking reflex, and they
Yeah.
know there's something they're supposed to suck.
Yeah.
You as mom know you have a breast, and this is where the food is coming
Absolutely.
from. But the skill of how to turn, position, attach this baby, you don't know. If you've not been taught, you actually are just guessing.
That's
and many
true.
times you experience pain,
Oh my gosh.
discomfort. You get to the point of the pain, now you're bleeding, cracked, sore nipples.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You're going to give up. So
Yeah.
the skill of breastfeeding is pretty simple. First of all, 3 things are needed. The baby, your breast,
Yeah.
and the brain. If there's a disconnect between the baby, the breast, and the brain, there'll be an issue with lactation.
Baby,
Breast,
and the brain.
We call them the
3
Bs.
Bs.
Yes, okay? So you have your baby and you have your breast. Now, how we hold the breast also affects how your baby will breastfeed and if you have
Okay.
enough milk or not.
Okay.
Many times, moms want to do this. I call it the scissor hold.
The scissor
If
hold.
you ask a mom, every time I have a class, how do you plan on holding your breast? Show me.
Automatically.
It's this, because she's seen all mothers doing this. So this is how it's done. But it's not.
Is it?
No, you put 4 fingers under and the thumb on top. Because when you do this, you're actually blocking part of the areola. And this is what should be in the baby's mouth. Now, if yours is as big as this breast, still, when you do this scissor hold,
Okay.
you're blocking a bit of the areola. So your baby ends up only taking what is in between your fingers,
Yeah.
which is the nipple.
Yeah.
The nipple sac, you have very sore nipples. So what you're supposed to do is have 4 fingers under the breast and the thumb on top.
Okay.
See all that area? If your breast areola, which is the dark brown area, is as big as this, an inch of it should be in the baby's mouth.
An inch of it will be in
Inside
the baby's mouth.
If your baby is suckling and you can see the entire black area, then there's something wrong with the latch.
So that
It's
means
very noisy. There's a lot of clicking sounds. That means she'll be uncomfortable and soon will have pain.
and your nipples are going to suffer as well.
Yes.
Right.
So 4 fingers under, the thumb on top. Then, baby's tummy and mommy's tummy must always be facing each other. Okay?
Baby's tummy and mommy's
like
tummy.
this. But you see, mommy and baby's tummy, they are facing. So
Right.
the baby is facing his food. But what moms do, you don't really notice about the positioning. Sorry, baby, I want to turn your head. So his head will be turned this way, okay? Look where his tummy is facing.
Up. Okay.
Okay, so it's like making you eat or drink like this.
Which is, of course,
It's
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable. Even if you're
It's-
told
oh.
drink water facing, or your neck facing that way,
Yeah.
you must always face your food, eat this way. So should baby. So when he's feeding from my breast this way and the tummy is looking up, that's the wrong position. So even as I'm walking and seeing mothers breastfeeding, I'm like, oh yeah. this
Do you
one.
ever stop to
I
tell
will.
them?
I
Excuse?
will. I will stop and tell you know what you just need to do. Turn this baby.
Nice.
Tummy in your tummy, and it's even so much more comfortable for the mom.
Yeah.
And for the baby.
So baby's tummy on your tummy, baby facing you.
Yes, tummy to tummy, we see. 4
Tummy
fingers
to
under,
tummy.
thumb on top. Wait for this baby to open
Open
their
their
mouth,
mouth.
gaping, like they're about to yawn. Many times moms are like, here, Shika, here, nyonyo.
Or trying to pat the lips with the nipple.
Don't. Let the baby invite the breast into their mouth. They open, they gape their mouths. Now the trick is, as soon as you see that, and you've held your breast nicely, you bring the baby to the breast.
Right.
You never take the breast
To the baby.
to the baby. Okay? So you're holding, you should have a pillow or a cushion to lift the baby up
Okay.
nicely so you're not feeling like you want to bend over.
So then, of course, your back, that becomes another
Your back
issue.
should be nicely supported.
Okay.
Okay. 4 fingers under, thumb on top, baby opens wide, and you bring the baby. So if you have cushions behind your back, you don't move. If you move, then you've changed your position. Positioning is so important when it comes to breastfeeding.
Okay.
Okay. So you can do this. There's another way I teach moms to do the cradle hold. Now this is cradle.
Okay.
The cross cradle is like this, yeah? For newborns, this is the easiest way for mom to learn how to attach the baby on the breast.
Interesting,
So you're
okay.
breastfeeding on this side.
Okay.
4 fingers under, thumb on top. Now my hand, can you see supporting the back?
Yes.
4 fingers under, thumb on top. Opens wide.
Yeah.
And as soon as mom sees that, so you won't be on the phone. Ulikuwa nasema you're on the phone, distracted.
Yeah.
You have to be concentrating, okay?
Totally present.
Present. Opens mouth wide and you bring the baby to the breast. Now because I won't be able to stay like this for long, I'll be tired. I slowly let go when I'm sure this baby is not,
Yeah, yeah.
there's no clicking sound,
Yeah.
it's quiet. Breastfeeding
Yeah,
should be
be
quiet.
quiet.
All you hear is the
The baby swallowing.
Okay, this hand should be like hugging me here, and then I cradle.
Looks beautiful.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And then there's this thing of you always have to keep putting your finger there. You don't have
Why
to.
do we do that?
You don't have to.
Or because we imagine they're suffocating.
You know, if you pressed your nose in, you will still breathe. If you
Through the nostrils.
You will, won't you?
Yes.
So if you have to keep putting the finger there just to make sure your baby's not breathing, then the latch is not as good as it should be. First things to do, try and adjust the head. You just push baby's head back.
Okay.
The chin should be pressed, smashed into the lower part of your breast, but the nose should be free. So when you adjust his head, he presses further in, but here, then it's a really small space, but it's enough, big enough for him to be able to breathe.
Those are good pointers.
Yes.
So of importance, the first thing that a mom needs to learn is how to latch.
Yes. And latching comes with how you position yourself and the baby.
Okay.
Tummy to tummy,
Tummy to tummy.
4 fingers under the breast, thumb on top.
Okay.
Wait for the baby's mouth to open wide, and then you bring the baby to the breast.
breast.
Don't take the breast to the baby. And then another thing, take out all the vitambas. You know, we tend to want
Yeah.
to wrap these babies because it's cold,
Yeah.
put mittens and cover. They need to be free.
Why?
Because, first of all, there should be no barrier between you
You
and
and
your
the baby.
Number 2, they get really hot. And this baby will fall asleep because they're so nice and toasty. They're not going to breastfeed. So make sure they're not too warm. There's a lot of body heat exchange between the two of you. So you don't need to warm them up too much.
Okay.
If it's cold, of course, take the wrap and cover yourselves.
Okay.
Yeah? But no wrapping baby before they breastfeed. The mittens, these babies learn to actually massage the breast for themselves. Now, when they're in mittens, they don't get the skin contact.
Okay.
Take the mittens off, take the hat off, let them enjoy breastfeeding.
So in a way, actually, the baby can help you through this process.
Yes, by just, stimulating your breast for themselves, and they're like, oh, when I touch here, more milk comes out.
Wow.
Okay? So that baby brain breast connection is very important.
In fact, that's what I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
What was the brain part?
The brain part.
Yeah.
Now, when the baby's suckling here, they stimulate a hormone that will send a message to say, hey, we have a customer on the breast. Then the brain sends a hormone called oxytocin.
Oxytocin.
Oxytocin will now eject milk into the breast glands, the mammary glands. And some moms will tell you, ooh, I feel a tightening in my breast. I feel electricity feeling. It's very subjective.
Okay.
I'm sure you've breastfed. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
There's something you feel, and then the milk starts to flow.
Yes.
If mom is stressed, anxious, afraid, in pain, hasn't slept much, is completely overwhelmed and exhausted,
Right.
I want you to imagine an X on her brain. So this baby is breastfeeding and
Yeah.
sending messages to say, hey, we have a baby on the breast, we have a customer, but the brain is switched off. Because of those things, you're in pain, you're in doubt, you don't know what you're doing, you're overwhelmed, you're stressed, you'll be saying that I don't have milk. And the reason you don't have milk is because of that connection is broken. Many a times this is what happens during the beginning, the first few weeks of
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
mothers.
To get the hang of it.
You don't know what you're doing, you're not sleeping well, you're still anxious about the baby, you want to keep watching your son or daughter as they sleep, so you're tired. So you have to be actually very self-aware and keep telling yourself, okay, I need to be calm, I need to take my painkillers so I'm not in pain, I need to be confident about breastfeeding, because if you're not,
Then it's just going to affect your mental state.
breastfeeding starts from the mind. If your mind
I
is
hear you.
off,
I hear you.
then it doesn't work.
I hear you. Thank you for those pointers. We are going to take a short break, and when we are back, we'll be talking about the challenges that moms face when it comes to breastfeeding and how to overcome these challenges. And we've seen there's a question from Penina in Kasarani asking, how do you tackle the issue of sore nipples, cracked nipples, and issues around struggles that we face as moms when it comes to matters breastfeeding? We'll be back after this short break. Welcome back to Today's Parent. On today's show, we've been talking about breastfeeding. In studio, we have Shiro Shera of Nurturing Moms, who shared some key tips before we went on the break. And the tips she has shared when it comes to matters breastfeeding. The 3 B's. The baby, the breast, and your brain. All these need to be in sync. And the other thing that happened before we went on the break, we had Penina from Kasarani who asked, if I have sore nipples, how do I tackle issues around cracked nipples, sore nipples? Shiro, what would you advise Penina?
I'd advise her to first be sure that the latch is right, because the reason that women get very sore, cracked nipples is that the babies most of the time nipple feeding as opposed to breastfeeding attached well on the areola. So when they're only feeding on the nipple, they get cracked.
Right.
What you do, make sure the latch is right. Maybe get somebody to observe, a lactation specialist to come and see that you're doing it right. If you're sure you're doing it right, that the baby is well covered the areola,
Yes.
she needs to, every time after she breastfeeds,
Right.
squeeze out a bit of her milk.
Okay.
You'll get the milk come out, droplets. Apply that on the nipple and the areola.
Okay.
It will air dry. Okay, so you're going to stay like that without covering. Once the breast has dried from the milk, then she can apply something called lanolin. 100% lanolin. It's not the white ones that we find in the chemist that are for the pedicure and
I can
manicures.
even see the
You can see
pink,
it.
white.
Yes, not that.
Not that one.
No.
Okay.
There are different brands. There's Medela, there's Lancino, there's Avent. It's actually yellow. There's also hospital grade lanolin, which you can get in hospital. It's yellow, creamish, and not white. That helps to heal the sore nipples.
Okay.
And she doesn't have to wipe up every time she's putting the baby on the breast. If
Okay.
she applied it and then 5 minutes later, baby is awake, wants to feed,
Yeah.
it's okay. Just put the baby on the breast without having to wipe off.
You know, I can't emphasize enough on the matter of the issue of latching, because I remember first day in hospital, the way you said at the beginning that you are given the baby and you don't know what to do with this baby.
Yes.
If you don't learn to latch properly, to get the baby to latch properly, the pain on your nipples is something that it's out of this world. The bleeding, the soreness. So these tips, I'm sure, are going to help very, very many
I
moms.
hope they do.
So the other thing I would love for us to talk about is when it comes to breastfeeding, what are the myths you encounter when it comes to breastfeeding? I'll start with the first one.
Okay.
That if I breastfeed, then my boobs are going to become saggy. What's your take on that?
It's a no. Of course, the breast size will change. Some moms have a bigger breast.
Okay.
Other moms tend to have shrink and have a smaller breast.
Okay.
But what happens when you're pregnant, you produce a hormone called hormone relaxin towards the end of your pregnancy.
Okay.
And this hormone is to relax the pelvis,
Yeah.
to open up the outlet for your baby's birth.
Right.
But this hormone is distributed all over the body and finds itself on the muscles of your breast.
Right.
They may tend to relax.
Okay.
It's a relaxing hormone. It's called hormone relaxing.
Okay.
Now, you may decide, I'm not going to breastfeed because I don't want saggy boobs. Imagine you'll be shocked because you might get the saggy boobs because you are pregnant and you produce that hormone.
So it has nothing to do with breastfeeding?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Another very interesting myth is that I need to drink milk to produce milk.
That's a new one.
You've not had that one?
No.
Yes, I need to drink a lot of milk to produce milk. That is, just throw it out of the window.
Okay,
It is not true. You just need to have a well-balanced diet, have lots of fluid, lots of water, at least 2 liters of water a day. Okay, then you can add your herbal teas, your hot chocolates, your Ovaltine, whatever you want to drink.
Okay.
Another interesting hormone is the breast size.
Wait, before you move away from food, what's with the Njahe story? The more Njahe?
It's very interesting. Let me tell you, Jahe has a lot of iron in it.
Okay.
It has very good micronutrients in Jahe, which will replenish what you've lost. Your iron, you need a lot of calcium, it has that. Yeah?
Okay.
But it doesn't always work for every mother. I remember my sister, she just needs to have 1 plate of Jahe a day and she's licking with
Wow.
Another mom will tell you, me, I don't need any of that. I just need water, a bottle of 2 liters of water a day
And
and
you're
I have
good.
milk. Another mom will tell you, I need to take Ovaltine or I need to take fermented porridge. That was
yes.
Mine was just not kawaida porridge, fermented in 2 hours. I'm like,
delivered.
you know?
Yes.
But it's very individual. What works for one mom may not work for you. But what you must do is have a balanced diet. Why? Babies are parasites. They will suck you dry. They take everything out of you. They need vitamin A out.
Yeah.
B, C, D out. You have to eat well to replenish your stores. Because this is how babies survive in desert areas or areas that have gone through earthquakes and they're not able to get food. The moms themselves are not eating.
Yeah.
But you'll see the baby in her bosom is healthy, chubby.
Yeah.
Because they're getting every nutrient from the mom.
That's interesting.
So eat a well-balanced diet
That's
and also
interesting.
fluid. 80% of breast milk is water. So if you're dehydrated, it will affect your supply. So you've got to drink fluid. So I'm going to say breast size is another myth.
Okay.
Moms believe if I have
Bigger boobs, then the more milk I'm going to produce.
Others say if you have small breasts,
Then definitely I'm going to be challenged.
exactly. The others who are in a different school of thought, it's the opposite. The bigger breasts, the less milk.
Yeah.
Smaller breasts, the more milk. Breast size doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No. The only difference is the one with a bigger breast, let's say cup size F, has a bigger reservoir. So if she's able to store 150 ml in one go, and the smaller A cup size can only store 80, it's fine. But within 24 hours, you have produced the same amount of milk. If you're breastfeeding on demand, you're eating the same amount of food, all of that, you should be fine.
You know what I figured eventually? I have 2 kids. The first one was not really, of course I breastfed him, but with the second one, you really want to get it right.
Okay.
So I purposed to do 6 months of exclusive breastfeeding. I can tell you, Shiro, there's nothing I didn't Google. You call it fenugreek?
Yes,
seed?
you took that.
No, so I decided they even have tablets. So like 2-3 times a day,
the capsules.
fenugreek. Yes. Water, almost by the gallon. Water. Then porridge.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's like a project by itself.
And did you have milk?
When I got to 6 months, like that night when I got to, I have breastfed this human exclusively for 6 months.
Yes, I've done my part.
I took myself out. It was such a
switched
big
off?
deal. No, like I had succeeded at it. So I was so
Well done.
excited.
It takes a lot of
I was so
commitment.
excited.
It takes a lot of commitment for any mother to decide this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And even when I meet a mom, I always ask her before we go on, tell me, how long do you want to breastfeed for? There's some who will say 2 months.
Yeah. And that's where their mind has...
Yes! Another will say 1 year. Another is like 6 months, done.
And they're
no
those
more.
beyond 1 year, 2 years, eh?
Which is what it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exclusively for 6 months, meaning no
At least
water.
minimum, if you
no
can,
food.
try to push.
Yes. Because you will see the health of your baby.
Yeah. And you hardly take them to hospital, like we said. And then the other thing, when it comes to, let's go to challenges that moms face when it comes to breastfeeding, breast milk. Reduced supply. Because even in that 6 months that I was trying to exclusively breastfeed, at the beginning, the supply was nicely heavy. Then somewhere in the middle, something happens. Like you're trying to pump, like you are there pumping.
Yes.
And even just to get 50 ml. And you've been there forever. You've drank everything, you've eaten everything. You're thinking your state of mind is okay. But no.
Yeah. Sometimes you've gone back to work. In the first 3-4 months.
Okay.
You've been with baby for 3 to 4 months, and then you go back to work. That disconnect will actually affect your milk supply.
Right.
For one, your stress levels are higher.
Right.
You think you're at work, but you're thinking about your baby.
Yeah.
You're not breastfeeding them as often as you are when you're at home with them.
Yeah.
That affects milk supply. Number
Okay.
2, you're at work, yes, you still have a lot of milk, but you're not expressing. Breast milk production is demand supply. The more you demand from the breast, the more milk the breast will produce.
So even at work, then you try to pump, store, come back with it at home.
Exactly.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is a challenge, and many times mothers, once they get to 4 months and they're back to work, most times you hear they are supplementing, meaning they are breastfeeding when they can.
Yeah.
But when they are not able to, when they are away from the baby,
Yeah.
they will use as a breast milk substitute for
I
the
hear
baby.
you. I hear you. I'm telling you, breastfeeding is just a project by itself.
It is. It is.
And there's one thing we haven't talked about. There's the mom part of it. Of course, we have the breast, but the baby part of it.
Okay.
Because maybe the baby could be having challenges breastfeeding in your practice. I don't know what kind of challenges babies face.
Okay, sometimes when babies are born early, so preterm babies.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
before the 37 weeks, some 36, they may have a challenge to actually get the latch and pull from the breast.
Right.
I've supported a mother with a 32-weeker born baby and was able to breastfeed, but sometimes they get tired.
Ah,
able
the
to.
baby gets tired.
Yes. Or they've been born early, people are concerned that they are very sick. They won't be able to come out of the incubator to breastfeed. So
Okay.
they're given a lot of nasogastric tube feeding.
Right, right.
Then, because they've not breastfed for a long time, they don't know how to. It's been so long, it's maybe been 6 weeks since they've been in the incubator. Now it's time for the baby, mom and baby to bond with breastfeeding. That can be a bit of a challenge.
Okay.
Number 2, there's some babies who are born with a tongue tie
Tongue
or a
tie.
lip tie. So we have something called a frenulum. When you lift your tongue, there's that thing that holds your tongue down.
Right.
Some babies, it extends to the tip of the tongue, so it holds the tongue down, and he or she can't extend the tongue out to latch, to and massage this breast so that the milk can come out. That's a challenge, but it's reversible.
Okay.
Pediatrician or dentist just needs to use sterile scissors and cut the frenulum to release the tie.
Okay.
Then the baby will be able to breastfeed.
But how long does it take to recover?
Not long, can take a week.
Okay.
Yeah. You breastfeed immediately. And you don't need to go to theater for that either. The baby doesn't need to go to theater.
But how can you tell when your baby has
A tongue tie?
A tongue tie?
Good question. They have a clicking.
When they're suckling.
They have a clicking,
even when you
suckling
latch
sound.
properly.
Even when you've latched properly, the mother complains of pain.
Okay.
Nipple pain. She knows I've done tummy to tummy, I'm holding my breast well, my baby's positioned well. There's a clicking sound, and also she's having nipple pain.
Okay.
You shouldn't be having, breastfeeding is not painful. When it's painful, now you need to start thinking. So you need to check the baby's tongue and see, is it tied? Is it being able to, when baby yawns, can they extend their tongue out of the mouth? Or
Okay.
it's held back in. If you notice that there's a tongue tie, lip tie is the same. If you lift the lip, you just take the baby to the pediatrician and they will nip it or release it.
All right.
Yeah.
So as we are wrapping up,
Okay.
your top tips when it comes to matters breastfeeding
Okay.
and succeeding at breastfeeding, what can you share with moms?
The number one thing, moms need support. The initial support a mother gets sets the tone for her breastfeeding journey. So what that means, either you attend a childbirth class or a lactation class. This is a prenatal class, which teaches you how to breastfeed before your baby has come.
Yeah.
So once baby comes, you're not fumbling. You have an idea. I know Shiro told me how to position, how to attach this baby, what I need to do, what maybe I should eat, what you get to learn about breastfeeding. Number two, try to avoid supplementing early. Very few times babies need supplementing unless it's medically prescribed.
Yeah.
Let me show you the size of a baby's tummy. Day one.
Is that small?
This is 5 ml, a teaspoonful per feed that your baby needs because their tummy is this size. Okay? So when you go into birth with a perception that, oh, my breast needs to be full, I need to fill a full cup of milk.
Yeah.
Your breast cannot do that because your body knows the baby's tummy is quite tiny.
Okay.
So when you have the knowledge that I know I'm producing drops and it's very normal to produce drops because that's the colostrum, that liquid gold.
Yeah.
Then eventually it will go increasing, then you're not anxious. But if you're thinking, oh my God, it's even water, because it starts like, it looks like water.
Yes.
So moms who don't know end up wiping. Too maji. I'm just producing water.
Oh my
You keep
gosh.
wiping, but that is the first milk your baby needs, which is most important.
And
it's actually
nutritious.
Yes, it's like the first vaccine to protect your baby. It's full of immunities. Okay, it's a bit gold, yellow gold, but it can start looking clear.
Okay.
Water.
Okay.
The third thing that I'd say is breastfeed on demand.
Breastfeed on demand.
So when your baby demands it, put the baby on the breast because that then will help with your breastfeeding journey. You'll produce a lot more milk and you learn because it's a learned skill. The more you breastfeed in the right way,
and the more you get better at it.
you get better. You get better. I'd love every mother to just enjoy their breastfeeding journey. It's the best thing any mother can experience. To sit down, breastfeed your baby pain-free.
That would be awesome. Shiro, thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
We have learned so much from you. And I'm sure if there's any mom out there with any issues pertaining to breastfeeding, lactation, if you need any help, I'm sure this information, number one, has been very helpful to you. And you can check out Nurturing Moms on Facebook. And I know they have a website as well with the same name, where you can get all the information on matters breastfeeding. Let's give moms all the support they need to succeed at breastfeeding. Thank you so much for watching. We've been filming today at Little Cribs, the home of fun, functional, and durable furniture. We look forward to having you next time. Thank you so much.